Wow.
Wow.
This is music news.
This is music news.
Anybody want to kick us off?
R.I.P.
Yes, thank you. R.I.P.s. There are a couple this week.
Jazz legend Wayne Shorter, 89 years old, died March 2nd. Jazz saxophone player with the Jazz Messengers, Miles Davis's second great quintet, Weather Report, Herbie Hancock, solo work. Possibly, in my opinion, the only player who ever made the soprano sax sound good. Yeah, a longtime great jazz legend, composer, arranger, player, 89 years old. Wayne Shorter.
Rest in peace. Another rest in peace. We have Gary Rosington. He was the guitar player for Leonard Skinner. Also, he survived that plane crash. The plane crash that like half of Leonard Skinner died in. He was one of the survivors.
Wow.
And went on to continue playing with Leonard Skinner, and then Jimmy Van Sant, Ronnie's younger brother, ended up being the lead singer.
I would also like to point out he is the slide guitar solo you are hearing on Freebird.
Oh yes,
rest
there you
in
have
peace,
it.
brother.
Yes, so rest in peace.
I got one more for you.
Yes.
Also, rest in peace to legendary producer Spot. Died at 72 years old. Spot was the producer for many of the hardcore bands on the SST label. Just some albums real fast. The Misfits, Earth AD, all of Black Flag's discography pretty much. The Minutemen, their earlier albums. Tons of great stuff. The Descendants, the list goes on. St. Vitus, he was a legendary producer. Meat Puppets. And his work is on so many classic records. Check some of them out. I just named a ton of bands, and their work is littered with his production, and a real big loss and a real influence in the way that punk and hardcore was recorded for the first time in a real way. So rest in peace, Spot.
Yeah, rest in peace to him. Do we have any more rest in pieces? All right, that wraps it up. I do have some interesting, well, not interesting news, but news that I read that I was like, you know what? Right on, Jamie Lee Curtis. So,
okay,
you might be wondering, what does that have to do with music? So, Jamie Lee Curtis was on, I think, the Today Show, one of those shows, and she was being interviewed, and she is flying the flag for matinee shows. She was talking about how, for example, a band that she would love to see would be a band called Coldplay. You might know them, probably know them, but how, you know, if Coldplay had a concert at 9 p.m., she doesn't want to go see a concert at 9 p.m., and that chances are that show probably has an opener, and you probably wouldn't see Coldplay until late at night. She said, let's make matinees a thing. I would love to see Coldplay at 1 p.m. So I think that's a great idea. I also agree with that sentiment.
I strongly agree. Comedians do it all the time, 2 shows in one day. I could also get artist burnout, but if you did every other day, one show may be a matinee and the next show is a late show on the next night, that would be a cool idea, but something I would also be down for. I like to sleep.
You know why they won't do it, though?
Why?
Nighttime is travel time. And if you do a matinee show, your people got to get there at like 4 a.m. to start setting up stuff.
Yep.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it just can't be done unless you are a band that has the luxury to space 2 days in between each show.
Yeah, right. Or if it's like a home game, you know what I mean? So like if Coldplay's playing like the Royal Albert Hall or something like that, you could probably do like I don't know that they
2
live in
shows
England,
in a
but
day
you know.
thing.
This idea was once used to curb violence at hardcore shows at CBGB's, where they held the shows on Sunday during the matinees, so that it was the daytime, it was less apt to be violent and all that fun stuff.
Also, a quick shout out to Willamette Records in Willamette, Connecticut, because they have Sunday matinee shows all the time. So if you're in the Connecticut area and you want to catch a cool show and it's a Sunday afternoon, look up Willamette Records. They're always having a bunch of good shows Sunday afternoons.
Agree.
Worth a check out.
Jeffrey, do you have anything?
Yes, K-pop group Blackpink became the most streamed female band on Spotify with 9 billion streams.
That is crazy awesome news.
9 billion streams. Holy crap.
Very interesting. And this on National Women's Day, Women's Month. It's the Women's Day in Women's Month. Women should be celebrated more in our culture. But they played a bunch of women on the radio today at work as well, which was a great breath of fresh air in my view. But yeah, that is really exciting news. So they are the most streamed artist.
Female band.
Okay, that's a high feat. 1 billion streams.
9
billion streams.
9 billion streams.
God
Think about
damn.
that.
That is
That's crazy.
That is large.
Right on. K-pop is alive and well, man. For sure.
I have Ticketmaster news.
Oh, let's go. The saga continues.
I told you about Dick Blumenthal and the senators that were railing against Live Nation and Ticketmaster. Amy Klobuchar is the other senator there. Amy Klobuchar took the lead and decided to send a letter of recommendation to the DOJ, the Department of Justice, and is recommending that they look into maybe criminally charging Ticketmaster in some sort of way and further investigating what is going on with Ticketmaster, because they also believe that Ticketmaster is sending out some of their goons in some kind of way to abuse other lower ticketers or people that sell tickets out there, so that they are using their power to also like really illegally, go after these smaller corporations. Because of this, Ticketmaster got together with Universal Music Group and a bunch of other like artist management groups, and they got together and they signed a letter that they're going to essentially fix this problem in-house and come up with an idea to stop ticket scalping and all things of that nature. This seems to me as a consumer and someone that's been reporting on this, I guess, or like telling you about this for months, that seems disingenuous to me, and that they are trying to solve the problem on the inside so they don't really have to solve the problem, and they further won't get looked at by the Department of Justice. So that came out today, that they signed all those things, and amidst all of this going on, Live Nation crashed again the other day during the Eurovision Song Contest ticket sales. People overseas were trying to buy tickets for the Eurovision Song Contest. The site crashed just like the Taylor Swift did. It did not crash for nearly as long. This was only less than an hour, I believe, but still they're having problems selling tickets in large masses. And this has come over. Shout out to Måneskin, Eurovision. Check out our review.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that all has happened with Ticketmaster.
Jeez.
That is the latest news.
Well, I hope the monolith finally gets taken down, man.
Me too. We've been railing hard, so
yeah.
There's your update.
I have some fun music news. So the Weeknd song "Die for You," which was released 6 years ago, is now at number 1 thanks to a remix with Ariana Grande. This isn't the first time that we've seen this kind of thing. TikTok seems to just sort of be this thing that like it's this force that will push a song out and then everybody will use it on TikTok, and then all of a sudden it's big again. We saw that mostly because of Stranger Things, but then it migrated over to TikTok with the Kate Bush song and all that stuff. So I just thought that was kind of interesting that 6 years later.
I feel like the first throwback
Walking
into
the sand.
Oh, that was pretty big. I'm going to go with Rihanna with the 2020 pandemic dog face 420 skateboarding down the street to the Fleetwood Mac song, and that blew the Fleetwood Mac song back up
right
into the top 10.
Yeah.
So, it was Dreams. Sorry, not Rihanna. It was Dreams.
Yeah.
Remember that guy skateboarding to Dreams?
Yeah, and drinking the ocean spray.
That went up to... This is...
But it's just funny how like something like TikTok can just bring a song back to life in that way, where all of a sudden it's just like, oh, this is the hot song because so many, like one person with how many ever, million subscribers and stuff, or followers, or whatever the TikTok thing is, puts this song out, and then all of a sudden it just goes right back up. So it's like at number 1 6 years later. So that's pretty far out, man. So good for the Weeknd and Ariana Grande.
I like this. It feels like power to the people a little bit, getting to choose, because the radio doesn't play what they want to hear, so they play what they want to hear in a way, and they get to choose what they like.
Power to the algorithm.
It is power to the algorithm in a weird way, but also someone got to choose that initially,
That's true.
Yeah.
So it feels like a little bit of a win, even though it's still some kind of machinery that's controlling our lives.
Yeah.
Shout out to that Gorillaz album from last week.
Two thumbs down to TikTok virality.
Yeah. Any more music news, Jeffrey?
Nope.
Yo,
Luca?
here we go. Legal news. Real Earth, Wind, and Fire sues fake Earth, Wind, and Fire for trademark infringement. So Earth, Wind, and Fire, you may have seen, just announced a new tour with Lionel Richie. Some of the members of Earth and Wind and Fire, the original members, are still with the band. That is Verdine White and Philip Bailey, the original members of Earth, Wind, and Fire that tour as Earth, Wind, and Fire. There is another group called Earth, Wind, and Fire Experience, or Legacy Reunion. That's what it is, Earth, Wind, and Fire Legacy Reunion, which claims to have former members of Earth, Wind, and Fire, which has some kind of like side gig guys that played like a month or two with these people. That's really what the situation is. And they are going around and touring as Earth, Wind, and Fire. And now Earth, Wind, and Fire is really touring with Lionel Richie. And the dates on all the websites to get Earth, Wind, and Fire tickets are all mixed up. So you can't tell if you bought tickets, to see real or fake Earth, Wind, and Fire. So things are getting very confused. And they sued, claiming that they are, representing them falsely and that they have no real members of Earth and Fire, which is true. They have no real members of Earth, Wind, and Fire. So that's interesting, and I thought that was funny, and it's like a band sues itself. It's almost like when Panic at the Disco broke up itself.
They should just call themselves World Breeze and Flame, maybe.
I
Well,
don't
they
know.
just need
A
to
tribute to
Yeah, they
Earth,
just
Wind,
need to
and
be
Fire.
exactly. They need to
You
be
know?
pyramids, a tribute to Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Right, yeah, something
Yeah,
like that.
which is-
Earth, Wind, and Water.
Oh.
We're so different.
So I thought that was
And Verdine White and Philip Bailey, those are out of the guys people knew in Earth, Wind, and Fire. It was Maurice White, who was the band leader, one of the singers. Philip Bailey, the other singer, and Verdine White, the bass player.
Yeah.
So
Because Verdine White, he's like, I mean, with him, along with him and what's his name? Crap. The Graham Central Station. Larry Graham.
sure.
They're like the slap bass guys. Like if you ever
Oh,
talk to like bass players and stuff, like they are the dudes, you know.
Yeah, they just need to be a tribute group.
what do you guys know about Flea? Come on,
Yeah, well,
Yeah, have some respect.
the originator.
Flea was Larry Graham's biggest influence.
That's it.
that's what it was. He's like, I got to get me a tube sock. Anyway, do we have any more music news?
I got bummer music news.
All right, let's hear it. Let's go for the bummers then.
So rest in peace to the concert goers that passed away at the Glorilla concert in New York.
I did see this.
They were crushed to death when what was maybe a gunshot was heard to go off allegedly, and people panicked and rushed for the exits. 2 are dead, 2 are critically injured, and rest in peace to everybody that was hurt. This is something that's happened at concerts before, and I just want to preach a little concert safety. And if you're going in a large space, know where your exits are and remain calm and slow, and concert etiquette. Also, guys, just really look out for one another at concerts. I also saw some other things pop up on the internet this week from a gig where somebody threw off a flare gun. This was at the Playboy Cardi set at the Rolling Loud Festival, and somebody in the crowd was breathing fire, which was very dangerous. And then a little later on during the set, somebody brought a flare, like we covered in the Iron Maiden concert. So just now that phones are everywhere, there's a lot of crazy stuff that's getting filmed at concerts, and I think a lot of things are happening where some safety security measures should be implemented more before we have another Woodstock 99 or what happened even last year where people were crushed at that festival last year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, concert etiquette, man. That's the thing.
And concert promotion, it needs to step up safety, and everybody needs to be really, it all needs to step up because everybody involved.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but I just wanted to bring that up because it's
Yeah, it's important too, man. It is very important, I mean, you go to metal shows. What's funny, for me, one of the most shocking things was when I went to a metal show and a mosh pit comes through and somebody gets knocked down and like they pick you back up. Like
sometimes.
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 At least the ones that I went to.
Depends where you're at.
Yeah, depends where you're at. If it's a Hatebreed concert, maybe not.
I just wanted to, bring that to people's light and attention, and very sad, but that was what happened. So.
Yeah. Well, that about wraps up music news, I'm thinking, right?
Yes.
Okay.